Hey, it's time for some old school Lego, guys. This is an adventure set 5919. No box today. This is an eBay score. Well, not exactly a score. I still paid about 20 bucks all said and done, but that was about how much the original set cost, so not too bad. And yeah, got the instructions, so that's always nice when you can get those. But of course, we're after the actual pieces. So according to eBay listing, everything is here and accounted for. Guess I'll find out in a minute when I build it, but look at a few interesting ones quick. This 1x16 with the printed Egyptian kind of pattern on there. These are nice. The 1x2x5 with some more hieroglyphics. Our tan axle or tan rim with the spokes. Nice to have that in tan. Very nice. All yellow parrot, and this is the old mold of the parrot. Tan coffin. This was on our Hugh-Tap feature. A couple of the minifigs. We've got Baron Von Barron, and he is kind of the theme for our new haunted house set. So he's got a portrait up in the attic, probably dead, but he had many adventures through the years with Johnny. One of our old style skeletons. Looks like we do have a new style head on here, but that's not a huge deal. I've got some old spares to swap in. It'll be authentic. Trapdoor piece. Gray parrot. 1x2 printed photograph. And our hero Johnny Thunder. See if we can find his hat in a minute. But this one is interesting. This is the Coffin cover, and this is what I was missing on our Hugh-Tap review. So nice to finally have one of these and kind of complete that one. So actually two tan coffins. I think one is used as the vehicle. Another yellow parrot. So yeah, things are looking pretty good in terms of everything being here. There's Johnny's hat. So I guess I'll go ahead and build this up. We'll do a little time lapse, and then I'll talk about the whole set. So we have three kind of submodels in the build. Our Baron Von Barron doesn't really have any support material. He's just hanging out here. I guess in the instructions it looks like he's going to steal Johnny's car to get away. Maybe grab the crystal on the way out, but nice that we have a villain to kind of help with the story here. So that's the playability factor going up. Now Johnny Thunder himself comes equipped with this vehicle. I'm assuming this is his car because in the instructions we actually put Johnny in the driver's seat. So just a quick look at the vehicle. The first thing is this green chair. We actually haven't seen all that often in our Lego sets. Only 7 so far to date include a green chair. The most recent one was a passenger train. I think it was up on the little platform they decided to go with the green. So interesting that this particular color is not very common for a chair, but we do have one here, which is nice. We're actually using this coffin piece as the body of a car, and I think it's pretty effective. It's a nice simple way. Just kind of has that bulky feel. With a lot of our 4+ and our junior sets these days, we see a lot of kind of larger blocky pieces. So this kind of harkens back to that, but in this case we are using a kind of a multi-purpose piece, so that's good. Set of black binoculars is always nice to have. Some tools are also included here, and there's even a spare wheel attached on the back of the coffin. So pretty well thought out in terms of everything going into the car build. The small submodel of the build is a little warning statue tomb place, and it's actually got this function where you can release the snake upon the intruder. And so that's a pretty simple lever mechanism underneath. Pop this off real quick and take a look. We've got, I guess it is hard to see, it's dark in there, but we've got this pin that's going in here to kind of lock into our bar, and that just holds it up in place until you're ready to release it. We put a snake in the chute, and then when we pull our pin out, that drops the chute and the snake comes out through the bottom. There's a little arch right there. So yeah, it's a pretty smooth working mechanism. It does add that playability factor, and it all gets covered up really nicely when everything is said and done. 2 gray parrots kind of guarding the back here, and some flame elements on the front. Don't know who's going to keep the fire going out in the desert for 1,000 years, but let's not worry about that. The main attraction in the model is this kind of modular tomb build, and there's a lot going on here. So let's start with the actual back where you start building it. Now the back is pretty sparse. It's more or less just kind of a framework for the whole build, and there are 2 kind of 4x4 cutout sections, and I assume that's what we're using to kind of guide where we place our casket. So the first one, I think in between these 2 tiles, that's where it's supposed to go, but it also fits up a lot closer up on the front here, so maybe it goes up there. In this position, it's actually able to tilt up like so, but once you have it up here closer to the front, I don't know that it actually tilts up as smoothly until you've moved this door out of the way. So this is the other feature here, is the kind of knock off to the side. Let's get the scorpion out of the way because he kind of hampers it, but it tilts up to 90 degrees. There is another snake hiding underneath here, so I'm thinking this is just kind of a trap built into the function. Now when we have our coffin up on the front here, I think this is why it doesn't belong, because it doesn't really rotate up. So let's move this back into position. Pretty sure this is where it goes. And now we actually rotate this coffin up into place, and it's kind of like the mummy coming to life, I guess. So that's a nice function built in there, and some really nice detailed pieces to enhance the build are printed columns on either side, 1x16 up here on the top. There's 2 more yellow parrots up here. These actually command a decent price on the secondhand market right now. And our decorated casket top is actually put up here instead of on the casket, or the coffin. So let's look at that. First thing is we want to see, does this actually fit onto the coffin? Indeed it does, sealed inside there. So I'm not sure if there's kind of this alternate model or alternate display where you just leave the lid on the coffin and put that in there. But now there's not really a door on the front of our model. So I assume how it's built in the instructions is how it's supposed to be, but it'd be nice if maybe there was a separate mechanism for the door and then this was actually on the coffin. Our mummy is nothing but a skeleton with the additional headpiece here. It's a very nice headpiece, printed yellow with some gold and blue. This kind of quality for 1998 definitely had some thought go into this. Now I'll just mention this really quick. The correct skeleton head has more circular eye sockets. So the skeleton head in this particular set isn't quite correct, but that's not a really big deal because I actually have some of those older skeleton heads and I can just swap that in if I want to be 100% accurate. And our mummy fits really nicely back into the coffin. And yeah, this pop-up feature is pretty effective. Just launch him at Johnny, I guess. So I mean, what's the whole point of the model? Johnny has a camera, so perhaps he's actually anticipating some action here and he's going to record the reanimation of the mummy. Kind of a conspiracy theory that the whole thing is just a blockbuster that Johnny is shooting to make a little money, but that's a different topic. We also have this ruby, which I believe is the cursed ruby included in the brand new haunted house theme park attraction. So that's hiding here under the coffin. If you want to get to the ruby, presumably you have to go past the cursed mummy. So yeah, pretty good storyline kind of built into the whole set. And this smaller submodel does bring some extra playability features in. Total of 4 parrots is kind of interesting. You don't really expect to see parrots in a desert set. And the other thing I want to mention before I sign off is some of the part values that have gone up. So this piece is maybe $1. Each of these could go for $2 or $3. So there's $6, $7. These parrots are surprisingly pricey. There's not any available in the US right now. I checked Bricklink, they're all overseas, so could probably get a couple bucks for each of these. The coffin pieces themselves, a couple dollars there as well. So with maybe 10% of the pieces in the set, you're already looking at making back your $20 value. I mean, given this is a 1998, 22 years old, older LEGO sets do generally command a little bit of a higher price, especially if they're complete. 5919 Valley of the Kings review for you guys today. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Brick System Brothers.